warrior mentality, this attitude of faith, knowing that you've been equipped and empowered, then all the forces of darkness cannot stop you. Isaiah said, take hold of His strength. When you make this declaration, I can handle it, that's not just being positive, you're taking hold of strength. When you say it, you're getting stronger. That's why the Scripture says, let the weak say, I am strong. If you're always talking about the problem, I can't stand this job, and this professor is so difficult, I'll never pass his course, my loved one didn't make it, I don't know what I'm going to do, all that's doing is draining you. When you talk defeat, strength is leaving, energy is leaving, creativity is leaving. Quit letting those things overwhelm you. You are not a victim, you are a victor. If it came your way, you can handle it. You are ready for it and equal to it. And if you'll stay in agreement with God, He will take what's meant for your harm and He will use it to your advantage. That difficulty won't defeat you, it will promote you. I read about this businessman. He had worked for a large home improvement company for over 30 years. They had retail stores all over the country, and he had helped build it from the ground up. But one day they had this corporate restructuring. They decided that they no longer needed him. And of course he was disappointed. It didn't seem fair. But instead of sitting around nursing his wounds, thinking about what he lost, he had the attitude, I can handle it. This is not going to defeat me, it's going to promote me. In difficult times, you have to remind yourself that that is not a surprise to God. God is not up in the heavens scratching His head, saying, oh man, he got laid off. That messed everything up. Oh, she got diagnosed with cancer. Joseph got thrown into a pit. Joel lost his father. Now what am I going to do? No, God knows the end from the beginning. He has already written every day of your life in His book. The good news is, if you'll stay in faith, your book ends in victory. This executive, instead of looking for another job, he got a couple of his friends and they started their own company. They called it the Home Depot. It's become one of the largest, most successful home improvement stores in the world. What am I saying? That difficulty is not meant to defeat you. It's meant to promote you. A setback is simply a setup for a greater comeback. Well, Joel, it's so hard and I don't understand it. It doesn't seem fair. You're talking yourself into defeat. If it came your way, you can handle it. Start talking to yourself a new way. I'm well able. I'm equipped. I'm empowered. I'm ready for anything. The fact is, God is not going to deliver us from every difficulty. He's not going to keep us from every challenge. If He did, we would never grow. The Scripture says our faith is tried in the fire of affliction. When you're in a tough time, that's an opportunity to show God what you're made of. Anybody can get negative, bitter, blame God, lose their passion. That's easy. But if you want to pass the test, if you want God to take you to a new level, you cannot be a weakling, you've got to be a warrior. Dig your heels in and say like Paul, I can handle it. I'm ready for it. I'm equal to it. I know God is still on the throne. He's fighting my battles. And on the other side of this difficulty is a new level of my destiny. Colossians 3:12 says, God has given us the power to endure whatever comes our way with a good attitude. Maybe at the office, you're not being treated fairly. It's one thing to go to work negative, discouraged, complaining, bad-mouthing the boss. That doesn't take any faith. But if you want to pass the test, you've got to go to work with a smile on your face, with a good attitude, being good to people, doing more than you have to. At your house, maybe your spouse is not treating you the way they should. It's easy to think, I'm going to treat him the way he's treating me. These kids are disrespectful. I'm not going to give them the time of day. But if you want to pass the test, you've got to be good to people even when they're not being good to you. You've got to do the right thing when the wrong thing is happening. See it as an opportunity to grow. Every time you do the right thing, a blessing will follow. When you take the high road, there will always be a reward. But too often, the mistake we make is we're constantly telling ourselves, it's not fair, it's not right. When they change, when it improves, then I'll have a better attitude. No, you've got to make the first move. You do your part, and God will do His part. Quit worrying about God changing another person, and first allow God to change you. Is there something you're letting overwhelm you? You think it's too much? Why don't you get up every morning and make this simple declaration? God, I want to thank you that I can handle anything that comes my way today. I can handle a difficult boss. I can handle getting stuck in traffic. I can handle my plans not working out. Lord, thank you that I'll have a good attitude.